Hello, my name is Jennifer, and I'm mainly doing this video log to keep track of my own gardening activities. My husband suggested that I share what I learn and what I do on the internet, so I'll go ahead and do that. I think most of these kind of garden video YouTube channels start with, I guess, a garden tour. So I will give a partial garden tour today because to tour my entire garden would probably take several minutes, and I don't feel like dealing with that. So to begin with, this is my greenhouse. It's a 4x6 greenhouse. I use it mainly to rehabilitate plants that were outside. In this case, these plants are pepper plants that were outside that suffered some frost damage. They lost all of their leaves, so I put them in the greenhouse to see if I could restore them. As you can see, they have lots of new leaves, so I have a lot of hope for these guys. Next is the side yard. This is where I do a lot of experimental planting of things I don't know if they'll grow or not. So I just toss them into the earth and see what happens. Right now I have some peas growing. These peas have been very productive for me so far this year. As you can see, there's peas on here. These are some tomato plants. They are Bless the Sweet Japanese. So I've been trying to grow these probably for about 8 months. So the first set of plants that I tried died. I couldn't tell whether it was because they were getting too hot or that they didn't get enough sun or what, or because they were planted in raised beds. So I took 3 more plants and I put them in the ground right here, and they seem to be doing a lot better than my previous attempts. I see this one over here started to flower. So hopefully we'll actually get some of these tomatoes this year. Last year I was able to get 2 tomatoes off of one plant, and let me say, these tomatoes are excellent. They are sweet. They are, I guess, look a lot like the San Marzano tomatoes, but I don't know, they have a sweetness more like a cherry tomato. Over here I have planted some Romanesco broccoli in a steel drum container that I got from Home Depot. So far I have not been able to get any heads off of this broccoli. It just seems to grow taller and taller, and I'm not sure whether I want to continue on with these plants or cut them down and make room for others. I did have some regular broccoli in here which did grow heads, which we ate thoroughly and were very pleased with. Over here we have 2 containers of strawberries, which I've allowed to spill over with runners and form a carpet, which I very much like. And then behind that there are 2 artichoke plants, and I like these very much. They look quite prehistoric. This is a rosemary plant that we've had since we bought the house. It used to be huge and had taken over most of the side yard, but I cut it back. Right now it's in bloom. It's very beautiful. Okay, this bucket is another bucket that actually I got from Amazon, and this one contains our black creme tomatoes, and as you can see, there are several tomatoes ripening on the vines. I'm very pleased because I didn't think there would be any activity during the winter, and I thought the frost would actually kill the plant, but it didn't. So it looks like we'll be having some tomatoes soon. I love these, and I call them tomato berries because that's what they taste like. They're very sweet tomatoes. Over here behind this rock is some just area I decided to throw some plants in to see what happens. I wasn't sure whether this place got enough water or sun to grow anything, but it is where we used to throw our guinea pigs waste when we had one, oh goodness, years ago. So the soil itself should be pretty good. Here there are some Kung Pao peppers growing. As you can see, there are some ripe peppers hanging off the branches. Somewhere in here there's also a jalapeno. This is a collard plant. It's doing very well. Over here next to it, I have another one of these buckets from Home Depot that I've experimenting with onions. So these are onion starts that I bought from either Home Depot or Lowe's, I'm not sure. There are some red onions and some sweet yellow onions. I'm not sure whether I planted these right, but at least for now they're not laying down like they used to. They're mostly standing up. So I'm going to count that as a positive. Over here I have some plants that I put in containers. The ones in the pots are all pepper plants of various types. They went through the winter. I thought the frost would kill them, but it didn't kill them, but the plants themselves aren't as healthy as I like them to be. So we'll see if they perk back up as the weather gets warmer. This is one of the large fabric bags that I have, and in here is planted some Little Gem lettuce, and these are supposed to be lettuces that form heads that are about 4 inches wide. So we'll see how that turns out. If that works, and if they can tolerate the heat here, this might be one of the lettuces that we continuously have on hand. I think 4 inches is very nice because it's 1 head per person, and that would be great to help portion meals. This bed is supposed to contain leeks, but the seeds haven't sprouted, and it's been probably 3 weeks since I planted them, so I may try planting something else in here. Alright, this is my first raised bed, and surrounding it are some other little beds that I made from various containers I found at Home Depot. This one here, containing some flat onions, is actually a cement mixing container, and what you do is just drill some holes in the bottom, and then you can put your potting soil in and plant whatever you want in it, preferably something that doesn't have deep roots. So supposedly these onions don't need much soil, so hopefully this will do just fine. These are some crates that I put burlap in to keep the soil from running out, and again I planted some onions in it, and these are all bunching onions and scallions, so they look pretty good. These were planted probably a month ago. In this first bed, kind of have a mishmash of things going on, because some of it was left over from last year. These are peppers that survived, and then some of this is stuff that I planted for winter, but I think our winter here is coming to an end quickly, so I'm not sure whether some of these things that I planted will survive for long without bolting. So up front we have this is a time bomb pepper, which we recently ate the ripe peppers off of, and they were very hot and very sweet. I was pleased with those. This is a red popper, and this is a sweet pepper. This is a chocolate bell, and I'm not sure what that one is back there, but you know, if it survives, we'll find out. And behind that are some peas, and the peas are flowering, and I think there's a pod or two on this plant. Next to that planter are 2 pots that have carrots in them. So if you've been keeping up with my Twitter, you've seen that we successfully were able to grow carrots in pots as long as they were a small and short variety. So in this back pot I have planted some Chanterelle carrots, and in this pot I have planted some Parisian carrots, and hopefully these will be ready to pick in April or May. Looking forward to it because garden fresh carrots are delicious. Moving on to the next bed. This bed is in transition. You can see on the outside there are some carrots that are growing. In the middle were some plants that I've just moved around, so we'll take a look at that next. The other plants that are growing here are broccoli, and again some more of the onion starts, because again I just wanted to try them out. These onion starts aren't doing so great, so we'll see how that goes. And then here I have another crate, and this one has some Nabucco bunching onions that I started probably 3 months ago. They're doing great, and I guess I should start thinning them out and eat them. and eating some of them, such that the bigger ones have a chance to grow into bigger onions. Here I have kind of a haphazardly planted pea plant because I just wanted to see could I and whether it would grow in a tomato cage, but the wind has since blown over the tomato cage, and every time I try to tip the tomato cage upright, it just falls over. So I let it be. And the last bed we'll take a look at today is my spice bed. And here I have some anise, fennel, or fennel. This one's almost ready to pick. I'm very pleased with it. And here is some oregano. And underneath here is some thyme. Over here is some parsley. And just sprouting up here and here and here are some elephant garlic, which I've learned are actually leeks, and we grew some of these over in the side yard, and they turned into beautiful, gorgeous, tasty leeks, which we ate all of them immediately. So we were very eager to get some more of these elephant garlics in the ground so we could have more to eat. These are some jalapenos that were in the bed from last year, so I'm hesitant to move them because they seem to be doing perfectly fine, and I hope to see them rebound as the temperatures get warmer. For winter, I also planted some peas in here, and wow, these flowers are just gorgeous, like all the purple. So if any of you know me in real life, you know that I love purple, so this was a real treat and surprise when the flowers came up with all these gorgeous purple colors. Over here is where I have a bunch of varieties of basil. So this is basil called Aromato, and back here is some Greek columnar basil. Anyhow, it's some Greek basil. This one here is Siam Queen, and in here is some oregano from last year, so I just let it grow because it makes great ground cover. Over here is some blue spice basil, and this is I think this is Thai basil, and then back here is Eritrean basil, and here's a little patch of tarragon, and over back here is some lemon basil. So I think I'll conclude the garden tour here today. There it looks like maybe I'll do 3 videos just introducing my garden. So I will continue this tomorrow.